Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Game number 1 of Spring Training 2025 has officially been, it's over. It's officially in the books. And boy, was it a lot of fun. Going to have hopefully a good crowd tonight. Going to talk a little bit about the game today. And I'll tell you what, I've been saying this for quite a while now. I enjoy all of the movie star, the celebrity type, just kind of the circus atmosphere around the Yoshinobu Yamamotos. By the way, I have an interview with Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Hae-Sung Kim posted on the YouTube page here, that same YouTube page if you're watching on YouTube that you're seeing here. And so check that out. They talked about their performances today. We'll get into Yamamoto here in a minute. But, hey, if you tuned in to our last Dodgers Dogs live show and on the Down on the Farm Sunday, okay? Just go back to the Down on the Farm Sunday, the first prospect, and I'm sure you're wondering, why are you covering these guys, right? I mean, these aren't the top 30 prospects. These aren't the guys that I've been hearing about from MiLB.com pipeline and all the people who put together the top 30 prospects list, right? Okay, well, how about Ryan Sublette, first guy right out of the pen? How about that? How about Antonio Knowles, Jose Hernandez? You got to see GLP, Griffin, Lockwood, Powell. Those are all guys that we covered very in detail in our last Down on the Farm segment. This is why you got to pay attention to all of the details in the Dodgers minor league system. It makes it a lot funner. Plus, if there's no way you can watch Antonio Knowles throw the slider that he threw today. There's no way you can watch that three-quarter slot of Ryan Sublette and not come away thinking, wow, those guys are really good. And if they were in a different system that didn't have all of the superstars the Dodgers have, they probably would already be major leaguers, right? So very, very, very excited. Again, I've said it many times. I enjoy the circus atmosphere of all the superstars and the celebrities of the Shohei Ohtanis and the Tyler Glasnows and all that. But really what I enjoy about spring training the most is watching the James Outman at bat, seeing if he can get his swing together and get things going. Getting to see Sam Carlson for the first time. Hey, I'll tell you what, that was literally the first time I've ever seen Sam Carlson pitch, okay? And I'll tell you this, he's got a little Michael Kopech into him. And he was a second-round draft pick, 2017, had Tommy John in 2018. That butted up to COVID, and since then, you saw it today, just has struggled to either throw strikes or just put things together enough to match execution and results with the big-time tools. As a matter of fact, let's get Carlson up on the screen. I got a lot of video loaded and ready to go. But you saw Carlson today, a little bit of Michael Kopech in the sense that, yes, he did struggle to find the strike zone. Here's his outing from today. Let me get to it here, and we can see him pitch. But his stuff was loud. And this is why the Dodgers always like to go back to draft picks that were drafted high, because even if they haven't put it together, see that little bullet-type slider from Sam Carlson, the Dodgers feel like they can tap into those loud tools that got them drafted fairly high. And I really think, I'm excited to see if this is another candidate that the Dodgers have, that they can try to tap into some of the loud tools. And yes, Jose Hernandez, we talked about him the other day. Let's get his video up on the board and talk about him. He definitely did have a rough outing today. And I'll tell you this about Jose. This was a different Jose Hernandez than I expected to see. He was timid. It looked like he was just not letting go of the ball with confidence. And the Jose Hernandez that I remember seeing, of course, that was a long time ago, 2022. He spent a lot of time with Pittsburgh since then, is a lot more confident guy. This is a guy that was taken in the Rule 5 draft a couple of years ago. I think after the 2022 season, spent all of 2023 with Pittsburgh, came back to the Dodgers last June, went to the dev list, worked on a lot of mechanics. He has been as high as 99, but I'll tell you what, I was disappointed. Of course, hey, it's all about the process this time of year. That's a nice little slider there. And there's no reason to overreact whatsoever. about anything that happens first time out in a spring training environment. And I thought the Dodgers showed a lot of confidence in Jose Hernandez in what he did today. But again, Jose Hernandez has a lot more in the tank than he showed today. I'll promise you that. But first guy out, I was super happy, and he only got to throw one pitch, so I'm not even going to show that one pitch. We'll just go ahead and actually, I might show that one pitch right here. This is Ryan Sublette. He was the first guy in after Yoshinobu Yamamoto. See how that ball turns right? I'm going to back that up. Now watch this right turn here. See how he's a 3/4 slot there. Right turn right there, in on the righties. That is a really good pitch. And if Ryan Sublette, he was the first guy we covered on our Down the Farm Sunday. He is a guy that if he can master the control meaning just getting the ball in the zone, and then beyond that, if he can actually master the command of things, meaning can he get his starting locations right and then get the ball to move to a location that's still a strike like he did on that pitch. Let me flip that back over. See, this is control and command here. Not only is this a strike, but see where he starts the ball right there? He started the ball here on the outer half. Let me back that up, and I'm going to show you. Actually, let me put this down to a quarter speed so we can see the starting point. This is called a tunnel point right here. So this, we're talking about commands. Control is just throwing strikes. Command is this right here. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there at this. Well, actually, let me back that up just a touch, and let me start it at his starting point right there. See how that's a starting point? That is actually off the plate to the outside corner. So it starts on the outer corner, and this is about at the top of the shoulders. So it starts not in the strike zone, which means the hitter has not been able to make a decision yet as to whether they want to pull the string. So Sublette is making the hitter wait a long time to decide as far as whether they want to swing or not. And then the ball moves all the way in on the hands. See that? That went all the way from high and out the plate outside to in on the hands inside, and it made the hitter have a really late swing decision. So that's the type of movement and tunneling that Ryan Sublette can use whenever that he showed good command on that pitch and good control. If he can duplicate that and do it over and over and over, something not going to sugarcoat it. He has not figured out how to just the repeatability of doing the same things over and over and over like that. That's going to be the trick for him. But again, very, very, very talented. And we have a good crowd logging in. Again, going to go a little bit. We're going to go until we cover all of the prospects that you saw today in today's game. Very exciting spring training game. I know it's only 4 o'clock on the West Coast, but got some things to do tonight, so going to get this thing knocked out. Was itching to talk some Dodgers baseball and get it knocked out and talk about today's game, how exciting it was, and go from there. So, yes, we have a comment already about Bobby Miller, and boy, that was terrible. And, nothing could make it worse other than just getting a ball centered right on your head at 106 miles an hour. But how tough is Bobby Miller? Walked off on his own power, stayed in the dugout. That is one tough dude, and that is one physically in shape dude as well. So Bobby Miller, you definitely hated to see that, but we'll see. We'll get the reports on him, and we'll see how that's going to go for him. But that was a very, very, very scary moment. But let's get to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and let's talk about his outing today. And let's flip on over to that. Let me get it to that screen, and we will take a look at Yamamoto. Obviously, that splitter is just devastating. That pitch right there, not the fact that it has so much what we call fade, which is right turn, and tumble, which is downward movement, but he's also able to keep it in the zone. Then he's able to hit 97, as you saw right there. Michael Busch actually had a hit today. I was glad to see that for him. But 97 with the splitter, elite command, elite control. Yamamoto really looked good today. And the thing that I liked about his outing, and if you paid attention to Dave Roberts in the pregame, one thing I really liked about what Dave Roberts said about Yamamoto was the fact that they wanted him to get an up down. So they wanted it when an up down is, to see that nice little curveball there. That's nice from Yamamoto. Pitching backwards, throwing, you've seen his splitter for a strike. You've seen his curveball for a strike now. So really pitching well and just fine-tuned already early. And there's a fastball there Actually, that was probably more like a changeup at 92, something like that. Maybe a cutter. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but at 92, that would probably say cutter because there's that 97 on the hand. So when you come up and into a lefty, 97, you can fade and tumble that split finger away. You also have a curveball and a change. See that little cutter there as well? So you've seen the fastball up, the cutter into the lefty. You've seen the tumbling and fading split finger, and you've seen it all done with just elite command there from Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So what an outing. So let me get to back to my point that Dave Roberts made about Yamamoto. They really wanted him to get into the second inning because they wanted him to have what's called an up-down, meaning they wanted him to have to pitch, sit down, cool down, then get back up and pitch again. So they got that. The first inning was short enough to where they could actually take him back out to the second inning. They didn't care at all how many pitches he threw in the second inning. They just wanted him to feel that up down of sitting down, pitching, sitting down, getting back up, and having to pitch a second inning after an up down. So those are the kinds of details that are discussed in spring training games. The kind of details that I really enjoy, that I think the Dodgers are absolutely elite with. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I felt like, had a really nice performance, and the Dodgers got that 2 innings out of him like they wanted. So no doubt about it, CNAV, prayers for Bobby Miller. That was a very, very, very scary situation. CNAV also says that he is very impressed with the outfield play of one Mr. Zaire Hope. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't be, because Zaire Hope was absolutely awesome in the outfield today. Let's flip on over there. Here you go. And right on cue, Justin Robleski, my boy Robo on the mound, gave up a 2-run homer, and he will be so pissed about that. Here is the first great catch from Zaire Hope. We've been talking about his athletic ability, how he has good speed, how he's not just a bat guy. Zaire Hope is a guy that can play tremendous defense, and he's a good athlete too. And you saw right there, it's not just the great play, it's also the great jump that he got that you saw. Here's the second one, crashed up against the fence for the last out of the 6th inning. I feel sorry for that fence right there, because Zaire Hope is an absolute tank. And here is Zaire Hope with one of his at-bats today. We'll take you through the entire at-bat here. Another guy that he has lift in his swing, very strong, but it's a very compact swing. So I'll be interested to see, with that amount of lift he has in his swing, as pitchers start understanding where the holes are at in his swing, and they start being capable enough of throwing to those holes, we'll see if he has a hole in his swing or not, that major league pitchers or professional pitchers can start exploiting. That's the caution I always give people with young hitters, is that at the single A level, and certainly below that, first of all, there's really no game plans, and second of all, even if there was, the pitchers really aren't capable enough consistently over and over to hit those holes. So that's going to be the interesting part of watching Zaire Hope this year. So you can see that swing, see how he's on the backside there, and he's really kind of getting behind the ball there and adding lift to that swing, and that's why he hits a lot of tanks. But this is a guy that has really skyrocketed up prospects list very fast, and for very good reason, because he's a great athlete. And he's a guy that, watch there, see how he's getting ready to lift right there. See how he lifts that right there, kind of pulled off that ball. So Zaire Hope, a great day. He had 2 great catches. Matter of fact, let me flip that over. You can see it from the side right there. And let me take that back one more time, where you can see Zaire Hope from the side angle right here. There's Zaire Hope. Really nice load there, really soft. Just kind of gets into the back hip right here. Gets a good coil to where when he unwinds, it's like that rubber band right there. Now, boom. See how he lifts up through that ball? So what you got to really like about Zaire Hope as you look at this swing here, okay, watch him get to slate. He's going to bring his hands on a fairly flat plane there, but then at the front, he's going to lift. So Zaire Hope, a very, very, very talented young man. It was exciting to get to see him play today. I'm going to have to take it easy on the video. I will play video of Antonio Knowles here in a minute, but it's going to have to be my own video, because I'm getting a message saying that I'm playing copyrighted video. So we'll take it easy on that for a minute. Hey, Douglas Anderson, exciting. Looks like the Cubs have more talent. Just look at the scoreboard, okay? Well, good for you. I'm glad that you're super excited about a scoreboard on a spring training day where none of the Dodgers starters really got to play. So, hey, see now the first couple of spring training games are more about getting timing for hitters and working on pitches. For pitchers, the scoreboard doesn't really matter. Totally agree with that. Abstract says Justin Jarvis needs to apply for the Savannah Bananas. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Justin Jarvis. That was the first time I saw him. He kind of reminds me of the Kevin Gowdy deal. I will say this, he looked nervous. He looked like a guy that wasn't letting go of the ball with a whole lot of conviction and confidence. And he was in the International League because he was over on the East Coast, which meant that I didn't get to see him in Oklahoma City. He didn't play his AA ball in the Texas League, and so I didn't get to see him there. And so I just really have not seen Justin Jarvis hardly at all. So it'll be interesting to see with his performances moving forward what he has. I don't really even know what his pitch mix is. I don't really know what his upside is. I don't know really anything about him. So I really have very little to offer with Justin Jarvis. But I will say this, if the Dodgers picked him up, they picked him up for a reason. I've said on some of our Down on the Farm segments that I feel like he's probably depth, that could probably go back between AA and AAA. He can be that guy if you use the up-down train. In Oklahoma City's short on arms that day, he could be that guy that you could transition back and forth. So here's Antonio Knowles, the spin doctor. We got to see him today. He came in right after Ryan Sublette. And, man, I got a bunch of DMs and comments from people that were super impressed with Antonio Knowles. They're like, wow, who is this guy? This guy's really good. He is really good, a young man out of Key West, and he went to JUCO in the Tampa area right out of high school. Then he ended up at Stetson and got drafted by the Dodgers and spent all last year in the AA system. Another guy that they call him the spin doctor because you see that pitch right there, that slider pitch is really an elite pitch for Antonio Knowles. So it was fun to see him get his action today and get in there. It was even more fun for me. Hopefully he'll start, and if he doesn't start in AAA Oklahoma City, I think I'll throw a shoe at my screen or something like that, because this is a young man that's done everything the club has asked him. He spent all last year in AA. Should have probably made AAA last year, did not. Never complains, just is thankful for every opportunity he gets. And so Antonio Knowles, I think we'll probably get to see him to start in AAA this year, and that'll be super exciting for me. So looking forward to Antonio Knowles and seeing where he starts. And it was fun to see him today on the bump in spring training. So if you have any questions about any of the guys that you saw today in spring training, let me know. We will get to it. It was a lot of fun for somebody like me that covers prospects. It does not get any funner than getting to see all these guys all in the same spot. What did you think about Giovanni Gallegos? I thought Giovanni Gallegos showed a nice little curveball. 335 2/3 major league innings. So when you're talking about Gallegos and some of the guys the Dodgers sign every year, last year it was Dinelson Lamet. It was I interviewed him. Nabil Creasmod, guys that have major league experience. They've chosen the free agency market, and the Dodgers picked him up in free agency and signed him to a minor league contract. That's Giovanni Gallegos. Major league experience, 335 2/3 major league innings, minor league contract. They call those guys quad A players. So not AAA because they have major league experience, not major leagues because they're not on a major league roster. They're somewhere in between. So Gallegos, I've said this many times, I think he is the guy that if the Dodgers, actually, let me flip this back over. You're still seeing Antonio Knowles there. He is the guy that if the Dodgers need to send somebody up like they did Nabil Creasmont and Dinelson Lamet last year, if they need somebody to come in and just fill in, then I think Gallegos would be the guy. And here he is right here. Let's go ahead and throw Gallegos on the screen here and turn the mute down. Here's Gallegos just for a minute. Gallegos is the guy, the Dinelson Lamet, the Nabil Creasmont, those types of guys. We saw several. Eduardo Salazar, we saw several of them last year. If you need a guy with major league experience to come in and fill in for a week or two, I think he is the guy that you would call up, and then you would get the week or two out of him, and then you would DFA him just like the Dodgers did Giovanni Gallegos, like they did to Nelson Lamet. Actually, let me cut this over right here. You're not seeing him. I'm failing you on the video there. Here's Giovanni Gallegos right there. See that kind of little slurvish type curveball, type half curveball, half slider pitch from Giovanni Gallegos. There is a bigger, so he changes shapes of that slider type pitch, which I really like. There's Cody Hosey. And so Gallegos, again, I think he's that quad A guy to where if you need somebody to come up and fill in for a week or two and then DFA, he would be that guy. I agree. CNAV, Justin Dean looked very good in center field, very fast. He's another guy that, to be honest with you, I have very little knowledge about. I don't know a whole lot about him, so I really don't have anything to analyze in terms of what he has to bring to the table. But I agree with you. You got good jumps on the ball in center field. He looked very good. He looked very confident. So totally agree with you that Justin Dean looked very, very, very good in the outfield. Matt Sauer is another one of those quad A guys with major league experience. Sauer doesn't have near as much major league experience as Gallegos has. Let me actually go ahead and flip to Matt Sauer and see if we can get him on the screen here in just a second. I'm looking, actually trying to scroll through here and try to find my Matt Sauer video. I will have it here in just a second. So let me get that up on the screen right here, and we can look at Matt Sauer. I think he's another one of those quad A guys. Let me back that up and you can see him. He's another one of those quad A guys, not nearly as much major league experience as Giovanni Gallegos has, but 7 years of professional baseball, likely start in Oklahoma City, major league experience, another quad A guy with major league experience, minor league contract, that if you need somebody to fill in for a week or two, you would not be concerned with bringing him up. Matt Sauer we're talking about. And then DFAing him and seeing if you can get a prospect and a trade back for him. Or maybe like Nabil Creasmont did, maybe he clears waivers and he chooses free agency and you sign him back. So Matt Sauer is another guy I was interested in watching today, and I was excited to see him. And then Josue De Paula. Josue De Paula, actually, if you go to my social medias, I put an entire at-bat for De Paula on all of my social media platforms, and we're going to watch it right here. Josue De Paula, a big young man. So as Tim Neverett was talking about on the broadcast today, he actually was born in the DR and then moved to Brooklyn and then moved back to the DR. So the Dodgers didn't have to draft him. They got to sign him as an international free agent. And because of that, he is very, very young, still only 19 years old. And he has just an elite strike zone to him. And he hits the ball very, very hard. I have several videos of him hitting the ball 112, 113. And here you can see a professional pitcher. And what I want you to see, look at his swing decisions. Look how just unbelievably confident he is in his ability to identify the pitch that is coming and not swing at it whenever he's not supposed to, right? And I need to, actually, I'm getting another heads up here, so let me click back. I'm going to have to lay off the video again for a second. So I wanted to show you Josue De Paula and just kind of how under control his swing decisions are whenever he is at the plate. So Josue De Paula, he got some time today. Zaire Hope looked fantastic in the outfield. Ryan Sublette was the first one off of the bench, out of the bullpen. And my man, the spin doctor, Antonio Knowles, got in, got my first look at Justin Jarvis, Matt Sauer, Giovanni Gallegos. Got some good experience today. And I'll tell you what, the guy that I'm super excited about, mentioned it just a minute ago, Sam Carlson. This is a guy with loud tools that I'm very interested to see what the Dodgers will do with him, and very interested to see just exactly what they can do with his tools. Matt Sauer, again, a good kind of quad A pickup. Disappointed in the outing for Jose Hernandez. He's better than he pitched today. Not going to lie whatsoever. And it was super exciting to see GLP, Griffin Lockwood Powell, young man out of South Dakota. Had him on the Down the Farm segment on Sunday. have interviewed him. Wonderful young man out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Went to Central Michigan. Kind of hurt his arm. Didn't have a great senior year because of that. Although he is the all-time RBIs leader in the history of Central Michigan. Went undrafted out of college. The Dodgers signed him as an undrafted free agent out of Central Michigan. And he has just done nothing but absolutely work his ass off and got a non-roster invitee to spring training for the Dodgers. So tomorrow, very excited they're going to flip locations as far as where they're playing. We'll play the Cubs again tomorrow, but who we're going to see is Tony Gonsolin. So super excited to see Tony Gonsolin. We have not seen him in a minute. You saw the splitter today of Yamamoto. You're going to see the splitter tomorrow of Gonsolin. And these are the battles that you saw today. James Outman, talked about him a lot. Well, I'm sure we'll see Andy Pages tomorrow. Cody Hosey was in the lineup today. Ryan Ward, who, oh man, I felt terrible for him whenever he missed that pop-up. I mean, you got to catch that ball, right? But he has a hit tool. If he's going to ever make the major leagues, it's going to be because of the way he swings the bat. Left-handed. Tim Neverett went on and on about how in Korea he became a rock star, and he got so many messages after he hit the home run to beat Venezuela that it actually shut his phone down. And so Ryan Ward, a big-time hit tool. I felt terrible that he missed that pop-up. But it was great to see him play. Great to see Cody Hosey get his shot today. And I was glad to hear, if you go and you watch the broadcast, Rick Monday was very, very positive towards the momentum that Cody Hosey actually has. So that's not just me saying it. People that know a lot more about this than I do, guys like Rick Monday, are bringing up guys like that. So, yeah, Gonsolin has more of a split change, yeah. So the big profiles, all that tumble and fade. So there's so many different terminologies out there. Each guy calls their pitches a different thing. So I'm super excited to see Tony Gonsolin tomorrow. Definitely hit that like button, no doubt about it. And leave a comment if you have not so far. And if we're getting ready to get out of here in just a minute, I've got about 30, 45 minutes that I can go on. Austin actually is at spring training, so I'm hoping to get him tomorrow night. We are going to get some dinner soon. Might be able to hop on after that. We'll get Austin tomorrow. Austin was at the game today, so he'll have some great thoughts. Hopefully we'll get him on our Dodgers Dog show live tomorrow night. Was not able to give a show last night. To be honest with you, we've talked so much in the offseason, I didn't have anything new to add to it, and was just so excited about the first game. I wanted to wait till the first game was over, and we could get that in the books and have something to talk about, to actually have something of substance. I didn't want to just come on here and just chatter, right? Shows with chatter just drive me insane. So if I didn't have anything new or substantial to come on with, I really wasn't too fired up to come on anyways. And Austin was on the road yesterday. So went ahead and decided to do a show after today's game. I know this is early. That's fine. People can go back and watch it later. Casey, what'd you think of rushing today? Also excited to see Alex Freeland. Dalton Rushing, I'll tell you this. He is if you follow Dodgers Daily whatsoever, you know that Dalton Rushing is a guy that I consider to be, him and Edgardo Enriquez, one of the two most untouchable prospects in the Dodgers system. And so when you ask me what did I think about him today, that's a tough question because it's very difficult for me, my baseball brain, to say that I need to be judging somebody, first of all, in a one-game scenario. Second of all, certainly when it's like the first game, right? And then when you have a guy that has so much pressure on him, so many expectations. I mean, you just hear the commentary of people around Dalton Rushing. It's an absolute circus. It has to feel like there's a monkey on his back right now. So I'm not going to even try to consider to evaluate Dalton Rushing until there's a long enough window to let him get settled in, to let him get over just the hype and the circus train of all of the expectations around him. And then here in about a month or so, we'll be able to really evaluate where Dalton Rushing is at and whether he is really ready to help this loaded roster in 2025. So it's less about, for me, I don't mean to be dodging your question here, Show, about what I thought about him today, because I've seen Dalton Rushing have bad games before, and I didn't leave with any less of a thought or an idea of how great I thought he was than I did before the game that he didn't have that was very good. Bad games don't change anything about the way that I think of somebody. And it's not that he necessarily had a bad game or any of that, but I didn't even really pay that much attention because it wasn't that big of a sample size. And I say all that to say, super excited to see where he goes. I hope Dalton Rushing doesn't get caught up in the Diego Cartaya thing where I'm just telling you, the weight of being that number one prospect, if you don't get off to a good start and people start going, what the hell's wrong with Dalton Rushing? And you start feeling that really becomes a negative factor. So I hope that doesn't happen to Dalton Rushing. I hope he doesn't try to be the Dodgers' number one prospect. I hope he just tries to be Dalton Rushing, because that certainly is good. Nab, I don't know if Diego Cartaya got a spring training invite from the Twins or not. I would imagine he did. I still have very high hopes for Diego Cartaya. So actually, let me look that up while we're watching. We're watching Dalton Rushing here, and I will type this in, get a spring training invite. But again, Dalton Rushing, a young man that has a big-time Los Angeles. Let's see. No, I don't have anything for the Twins here, and I don't want to spend any more time trying to fumble around because I'm by myself. But great question there, Showtime. Dalton Rushing, today, I don't really have any evaluation of today, but overall, he's worth the prospect ranking that he has. Super. I played the video last week, or on one of the Down the Farms last week, of Dennis Higgins, legendary broadcaster for the AA Tulsa Drillers, talking about how his mentality reminds him of Pete Rose. That's how he plays the game. So he just needs to relax, and he needs to just settle in to being Dalton Rushing. So, yeah, that was a super exciting day for me. Looking forward to Tony Gonsolin tomorrow. Hey, how about Hunter Fiducia, huh? Hunter Fiducia, this is a guy, again, another one of those guys that if he was in any other organization, Hunter Fiducia, and I'm not going to play today's video because if I do, I'm going to get dinged for it. But Hunter Fiducia right here, let's click over to him. This is a guy that went to Barb High School, played for the legendary Glenn Caccini there in Lake Charles, Louisiana at Barb High School, and was kind of a short, fat, pudgy guy, and then went to JUCO out of high school, LSU Eunice, just continued to go north and stopped going east and west in terms of body. And so instead of being that short, pudgy guy, he ended up being a tall, kind of slender guy, the guy that you see now, kept growing, kept getting better, transferred to LSU, the Bayou Bengals, as a senior, had, decent year or whatever, got drafted by the Dodgers, and has just worked his ass off. You can see him catching Walker Buehler right there to get in the position he's at. Most other clubs, I'm going to say this confidently, Hunter Fiducia would at least be a backup on their major league team. There's no doubt about it. In my mind, this is a guy that doesn't complain, doesn't, whenever he gets passed over, the Dodgers passed him over for Austin Wynns. I still think they should have used Hunter Fiducia to be the guy they brought up in 2023 for the week, then DFA'd Hunter Fiducia and allowed him to move on to another organization. They chose to go get Austin Wynns. That has stuck Hunter Fiducia in the Dodgers system since then. Yes, he has become a major leaguer, but no, he has not gotten the major league opportunities that he has deserved because this roster is absolutely loaded. So I was super proud of Hunter Fiducia. Looking forward to seeing Andy Pages tomorrow. Ha-Seong Kim, I've got an interview with him. There have been massive raves about his defense. Yes, Hunter Fiducia is looking great. I'm also checking out how Gavin Lux is doing on the Reds. Good, Hila Shiva. And how about Michael Busch? You got a hit today. I was super excited about that. CNAB, I wonder if we get to see Justin Turner in tomorrow's game. Yeah, good point there, because he did sign with the Cubs. And if the Dodgers don't bring up Fiducia this year, he definitely should be traded to a major league team. I totally agree with that. And so excited to see more of Ha-Seong Kim. Excited to see Andy Pages tomorrow. Excited to see Tony Gonsolin back on the mound. And excited to see the Dodgers continue to work in all of these young pitchers. Got to see Austin Gauthier today. Excited to see the Dodgers give all the guys like Cody Hosey, Ryan Ward, all those guys opportunities. This is their opportunity to make a splash, to make people notice them. It's not a very big opportunity, but as I say, in this organization, I say this all the time, the only advice I can give these guys, as much as I love them, as much as I root for them, this is a loaded system. It's a loaded roster. And is it fair that a lot of these guys are blocked or they don't get the runway that they deserve? Is that fair? No, but that's life. And so if you're Ryan Ward, if you're Cody Hosey, and you get these chances in spring training, the only advice I can give you is you have to take advantage of it. Whether how fair or how not fair it is, it doesn't matter, because the facts of the matter are you play in the Dodgers system and there's only just this little opportunity, maybe a little window for you. And whenever you get that, you got to do like James Outman did 2 years ago at spring training and be so good that the Dodgers can't say no. If you're Cody Hosey, if you're Ryan Ward, if you're Austin Gauthier, if you're Antonio Knowles, if you're Ryan Sublette, if you're Hunter Fiducia, if you're Andy Pajes, if you're Ha-Seong Kim, you've got to be so good that the Dodgers can't say no to you. That's the only advice I could give any of these guys that are getting their chance. Austin, hope you're having a great time. Yeah, Austin, we'll get to talk to him tomorrow. I agree, Jake Piatti. Catman is underrated. And, man, I cannot tell you. I was telling my wife the other day, I hadn't posted on any of my social media accounts in like a couple of weeks. I just didn't have anything to say. Okay, Shohei Ohtani walked to the dugout. Yoshinobu Yamamoto walked out to the mound. So-and-so threw a bullpen pitch. Hey, that stuff was just boring me to death. I needed a game. And so, hey, had a super fun time watching the game, following the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have not gone to any of my social medias, go to them. I hope those of you who did enjoyed all the posts we had today on the game. I hope you enjoyed our post-game show here. Knew it was going to be a little bit smaller of a crowd just simply because it's earlier in the day and we don't normally go on Thursdays. And I'm sure there's a lot of other post-game shows. But, hey, if you would, text all your friends, let them know that we had a show today and they can go back and watch the archive of this. So that's going to do it for me. We will bring you some more post-game coverage tomorrow, hopefully after a really good outing by Tony Gonsolin, hopefully after a home run by Andy Pajes, hopefully after a really good day of Dodgers baseball. So thanks for tuning in to Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. I'm Casey Porter. It's a great day to be a Dodger.